Alright, so Lil Mabu and Fivio Foreign recently dropped the track Teach Me How to Drill, and it racked up over 1 million views in the first 24 hours.
If you with us, you good. Yeah,
the beat's crazy, so I want to show you how to make orchestral drill beats just like it. And if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you'll know that I used to make a lot of beats like this. I love making them. And whatever melody I make for this beat will also be available in my brand new In the Lab Loop Kit Volume 1. So I'll leave a link to that in the description, and let's get straight into it. Alright, so for this one, we're going to need some good strings. It doesn't mean you have to use any expensive paid banks or anything. For example, Spitfire Labs do some really good free ones. I think for this one, I want to use the Orchestra Essentials because the quality is really good in this one. And from what I've found, it's probably the best bank for the price. If you listen to Sustain, I feel like we'll get more energy out of this. And to make the melody, it can actually be kind of simple. So I'm just going to go to View, Scale Highlighting, and we've got E minor harmonic selected because this is what's going to give us that dark vibe. All I'm going to do is just pencil in a standard minor chord. So just going up 3, then up 4. And when I'm making melodies, I'm always thinking ahead. So I know that when I'm finished with this, I'm going to render it and make it faster. So in this MIDI, I'm going to make it a bit slower. So I'm just going to take this chord and copy it. And we'll just bring this top note up. We'll copy that again. I'll just press Alt and R to randomize the velocity a bit. Control and B to copy it again. And then at the end, we're going to switch it up. We'll go down to the D sharp. This is the note that makes it harmonic. Yeah, there we go. Now, if we wanted to, we could actually leave the chords like that, but I'm going to try and build on it. Just do something like this. We'll copy that. We'll get a bass note in as well. So we're just going to carry on the E. Feeling that. Now the trick is to just layer this with a few things that complement each other. So maybe some pads, maybe a choir, something like that. So obviously we could use contact banks, but a lot of them can be expensive. So I mentioned Labs earlier, and they actually have a free choir. So we might as well use this. I'm just going to take the MIDI, Control and C, Control and V, and then we'll pitch the choir up an octave, Control and up. We'll just see where it sounds right. So I'm actually feeling it here. Same notes. And then I'm thinking we could try something in Expand too. So we'll take that MIDI, copy it one more time, and this time we'll pitch it up an octave. We'll get rid of the bass notes, turn this one down, and we'll just find a nice pad. Maybe this one, you know, it's church organ. You see how everything kind of has its own space. Choir's taking up some more of the lower end. This pad is hitting some of the higher frequencies. So none of them are clashing too much. Then we'll highlight all of them, press Ctrl and L. I might just get rid of some of the highs in that pad. Maybe some of the lows too. And then with that pad, I'm just going to add Pancake. Set it to 1 bar. Just bring the mix down. And you'll hear it going between both sides. Just separates it a bit. Next thing I want to find is just a couple textures. And there's a nice contact bank called Hypha, which was actually free when I first downloaded it. I'm not sure if it still is, but you could check. So I'm just trying to find an interesting sound like this. And then I'm just going to use the root note and just have that one note playing. Maybe up an octave. Like this. This could work. With this one, I'm just going to take out some of the lows. And I think we could get it sounding a bit more interesting with Portal. So yeah, we'll go to my Perlina Portal bank. We'll just test out some of these presets. Maybe the high pitch stretch. Put that before the EQ. Now, like I said, I'm always thinking ahead when I'm making these melodies. Like I know when I start arranging it, this is going to be faster anyway. But then I'm going to want another part that has some sort of counter melody, like either a piano or a violin or a vocal phrase even. So I'm going to add one of my favorite violins, which is the solo violin from the Chris Hine collection. Just switch that to the old violin preset and just change some of the notes. Tidied it up a bit. Definitely need some reverb. I could either use the one that's already in the VST or add my own. And that's personally what I like to do. Next, I'm thinking there might be some parts where I want a vocal in it. We'll use the D sharp minor ones because it's the closest to E. Then we'll just pitch this up 1. But when the vocal's playing, I think I'll probably mute the violin because they clash too much. Something like this could work. And then in my deep suite, I have a full mixing kit. I'm going to grab the dark vocal preset, and it's essentially EQ, pancake, some delay, and some reverb. Alright, sick. So I've got all the parts that I actually need for the melody. So I'm just going to drag that to a playlist. We'll split it. Then we'll bring everything out. So we'll have one section with just the pads and the texture. And then one with the violin. One with the vocals. And then one with just the strings and the choir. You know what? Let's get a few more sections just in case. Because I know in my head that I want to double the speed, I'm just going to make that violin pattern a bit longer. Yeah, just something like this. And then just in case it sounds right, we'll add one section with the strings up an octave. So yeah, that might be enough to work with. So we'll go to the master, we'll click this, and then press Alt and R, and then start. And this is just going to render that out to a WAV file. From here, we're just going to cut the end off. We'll make sure this is on generic bleeding. Make sure this is checked. And then we're just going to double the length. So from here to here. We'll go to pitch, press Alt and left click, and it will reset it. Could even pitch it down though. Oh, that sounds hard. Let's check the violin too. Sounds crazy. Even this end part here. So this could be a verse. We'll get some drums in. So of course we're going to go to the deep suite and my hydro drum kit. Then I'm thinking some kind of heavy sounding counter snare like this. So we'll just copy that to get standard pattern. Get some higher notes in too. So I'm thinking another roll here. And then bring these down. Or up. Maybe bring these down. Let's try a few different snares. We'll try this clip one first. And then let's try and layer it with something like this. We'll just add some reverb to that second one. Then I'm thinking for the 808, we could go back to my go-to New York one. It's from my Prick Kit Volume 4. Just make sure everything's down except for the hold. So if you remember, we started in E minor. We have the E minor chord. And then when we rendered it, we pitched it down too. So we're working in D harmonic minor now. Actually, maybe the backward one would sound good. Maybe a slide there. So I'm just going a little bit crazier at the end. I think it could come back up an octave here. Down. So after this part, I've copied the 808 again. I'm going to make it a bit crazier here. We'll just pan these two here. And then just bring down the velocity of this one. Alright, so the 808s and the kicker sounded crazy. Next thing I want to add is just some perks and then some effects. Grab something like that. And then with the second one. And then with this canister perk, we're just going to add some reverb to it. And then some delay. And with the delay, we'll set the time to 6. Set it to ping pong mode. And then just bring the feedback down a bit. The only thing I'd probably add to this now is just a drum fill, and then we can figure out the structure. Might sound better than that per kit. And on the fill effects, I'm just going to add some reverb and then some flanger. Just to just give it an interesting texture. For the drum fills, let's go to the Divine Bundle, Chaos Kit, and then we'll grab one of these. Let's try this twisted one as well. Crazy. Then we'll also grab my Razor Riser, and then we'll just bring that back. This one's sounding mad, you know. We'll grab this Fasting Riser. Let's have that here. And then maybe just my camera flash in a different position this time. So instead of a riser, and this will just be at the end of the 8 bar. Alright, cool. I think that's definitely it for the drums. So let's go ahead and split these. Then we'll just work out a quick arrangement. So what I'm thinking is we could take this part for the intro. Bring the counter snare in. We'll just bring the flash in. And for the hook, maybe we'll just cut the perks here. Alright, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to save the violin for somewhere else. So we'll just extend this hook, copy everything over, and then we'll take this part. Let's make a quick cut there. Then I'm also just going to make this 8-way a little bit simpler. And then we'll bring the violin part in. And then I'm just going to have this one section at the end where the vocals come in. But I don't like the end of the vocals, so I'm just going to copy this. And then of course we're going to need a sub bass in this end part. So as always, we'll use my favorite one. And this is the Dirty Reese bass in my Aquarius Analog Lab Bank. Yeah, and then just repeat that. Definitely need that in the intro too. I want to try something different for the drop though. I'm thinking we could take the kick in the 808 and then just chop the melody like this. Yeah, this is sound mad. So we'll just play it from here. Sub bass, so sick. This one came out sick, you know. I just switched this up too. Energy in this one is crazy. I could hear Fivio all over it. So now we've got the verse. Just took out some energy with the drums. And obviously the 808. And then we got the violin. Yeah, let me know what you think of this one in the comments. Yeah, I hope you learned from this one, man. And if you want more dark orchestral drill like this, just click up here. Or for a full masterclass on UK drill, click up here.